This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today I want to share some the one question I ask under stress, which I suppose I probably learned this question thanks to Mr. Tim Ferriss. Not that he emailed me and be like, "Hey bro, ask this." I'm just listening to his content, I suppose. However, this is something that I've sort of, I suppose, trained myself to consider when under stress, and it's taken me a long time rather than just simply reacting. So originally was just going to talk about being reactive or proactive, whereas obviously a reaction is just reactioning a behavior that you would have done in the past to a similar situation. Proactive being choosing a new behavior. And so having a look at this and understanding that we get to choose our response, I started to think about, okay, but let me break that down a little bit more. How do I move from being reactive to proactive? And under stressful situations, I often will sit there and go, okay, what am I saying to myself? How am I talking to myself? How am I observing this situation? What questions am I asking myself? And often, I'm not asking questions. I'm telling myself statements, and the statements are often quite debilitating. They'll kind of crush me if I was to write it out and read it. I'm like, that's not true. I don't necessarily believe that, but in the moment, that's how I'm talking to myself and responding in the moment in my head. So where does that come from? It probably comes from childhood patterns. There's probably a motivation strategy behind it. It's probably to keep me safe, so I don't, put my head too much above the crowd and get shot down, etc. But the thing about this whole situation that I had to learn to realize was, even though there's a positive intention behind every action, or technically even thought, it doesn't necessarily mean that it still serves you today. So learning how to move from reaction to proaction was a very important thing for me to do. And one of the things I suppose I noticed that was congruent across the self-talk or the questions or the statements was that I was really making the problem, or let's call it a problem, I was really making the problem quite challenging. I was making it really hard and really big. And one of the things I had to learn was that I'm bigger than my problems, right? And the same thing obviously goes for yourself. Just a little hot tip there. Right? But the understanding of going, hang on a sec, this problem's not bigger than me as my being and my potential. So hang on a sec, maybe I'm giving this problem too much power, and that power becomes over me. And so the question that I learned to ask was, what would this look like if it was easy? And so that changed my mind making the situation quite complex and challenging, and all these possible worst case scenarios that I would run and go, hang on a sec, what would this look like if it was easy? Right? Rather than making it complex and hard in my head. And just by asking that question, I would start to have things arise. So for example, let's say one of the things that I have often struggled with, and I'm not really sure why, I probably haven't gone camping, I use that as a metaphor to really sort of delve into it, but one of the things is learning something technological like online. So learning how to build funnels, learning how to build some software into my website, whatever it may be. And I used to really, really fucking hate it. I would just crack the shits about it. It's like I would turn back to a 14-year-old boy. Maybe there's something in that, but it's something that I really detested, but I would make it so complex because it didn't make sense in my brain. And then one of the things I had to do was like, hang on a sec, what would this look like if it was simple? And it's like, well, I simply would just spend 4 hours playing with it and learning how things work. There are other people out there that have less knowledge than me in this area and learnt how to use it. Why am I stopping myself? And I was like, right, okay, well, when do you have a couple of hours or a morning or an afternoon or a whole weekend or whatever I wanted to put aside? Where can I do that? And just by doing that, I was able to overcome situations that actually weren't that difficult. Other people had been down that path. And often the things that you want in life, there are other people out there that already have obtained that status or achieved that role or whatever it may be. And it's like understanding, how did they do it? And I promise you, they didn't sit there grudging like this the path ahead. They literally just went one step after another. They seeked help, and they really looked at the situation and go, how can I make this simpler? How can I make this easier? The same thing goes for fitness. A lot of people really make training complex, right? And they'll build it up, and there's this and there's this issue, and then, look, here's an easy example, okay? When are you going to train? The number one thing, I mean, work's already busy and the kids are on your back as well. And then the wife was, she wants to make sure that she spends some time with you because she does love you. But at the same time, make sure that you do earn some money and you're getting a bit tubby. So, all right, I'll go to the gym. When can I go to the gym? The only time I have is it's only lunch break is the only time I have. It's like, okay, well, what does that mean? It means I got maybe an hour, 20 minutes, right? That's it. Max, maybe 3 times a week. Okay, cool. So what do you have to do? Well, I have to take my clothes bag to, sports bag, my training bag to work. It's like, okay, you take your training bag to work. Now, on top of that, what does that mean? You're not going to get ready in the morning. You have to do it the night before. Right, so the night before, I have to get my clothes bag and make sure I've got everything ready to go. And then I have to get it in the morning and with my business bag, which is a suitcase, I don't know, and put that in the car. And then also make sure that I block out the time frame so that I have enough time and that I also want to, maybe be accountable. So I have to contact someone to see if someone else is going to be there. Do I even have a gym membership? Then I've got to get a fucking gym membership. I fucking hate gyms. Right, it's such clean, healthy people's hospitals. Ugh. Anyway, and going from there, and then, of course, I have to leave the office. I have to go get changed. I then have to get sweaty because I need to get sweaty. You should get sweaty when you're training, right? If I want to lose weight, because I don't want to be tubby, because my wife said I'm tubby. So I shouldn't be doing that anymore, right? I need to go get sweaty. So I'm going to go there, I'm going to get sweaty, and then I have to take those clothes off. Do I have time for a shower? I didn't bring my underwear with me. Fuck. Forgot the underwear. Right. Then I have to get back in my old clothes that I worked in before, and it kind of feels a bit funny putting on those clothes again. Like I was sweaty because I was stressing and I had other work thing on before, and now I've got to put them back on. And then my sweaty gym clothes are sitting in my car, and I don't want to have them sitting in my car and smell my car out. It's just all too hard. Let alone the fact that I'm going to be taking some protein supplements, and I saw some fucking vegan stack that someone shared on Facebook the other day that I'm going to be taking if I really want to get rid of this love handles. Should I have some love handles? I'm not even getting love. What's going on here? And so we make these things so complex, where in reality, it's like, mate, if you aren't able to, and it's okay if you can't, make it happen yourself, you simply book a time with a personal trainer. That's it. It's accountability. And it's like, what is the first step you could do that would make this easier? And being able to do that, being able to ask better questions, once again, to reframe a situation that we see, allows us to actually overcome that situation. And this is really important because what we end up doing then is not seeing this big complex issue. We see the first step. And after we do that, take that first step, we see the next step. And after we take that next step, we see the next step. But if we have to know every single step before we start, the reality and the problem with that situation is that by the time you get to the third step, the fourth steps look different to what you planned. And so you're going to be real stubborn and stick to the plan. This is not how it's meant to work. It's like, mate, you don't get to choose how the universe unravels. That's like you're one dust mite in 7 billion, and that's just humans. The universe doesn't go, oh, sorry, Barry, here you go, buddy. Sorry, Barry, if you're out there. That's not how it works. Not living, Barry, right, mate? Like, it's really crucial for us to understand is that we need to be able to trust ourselves and back ourselves to really overcome these challenging situations. And one of the ways that we can do that is simply ask, what would this look like if it was easy? And see what responses, see what answers arise within you. I'd love to hear it. If you haven't already, I'd love to, even this works, contact me. I want to hear a story. I love stories. Oh, do you know that? Do you know that I love stories? Anyway, team, I'm out. Thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope you got a lot out of this episode. If you did, it would mean the world to me if you share it with someone else that you think would also really benefit from this episode. Otherwise, if you haven't already, check out Mood Prep online. You'll find it at davenixon.com.au/seminars. No, that's not seminars. It's memberships. God damn it, David. But however, I do have seminars coming up. I've got 2 more seminars the rest of this year, both in Canberra. One's a 3-day intensive in the start of November, and the other one is it's in later October for the 1-day connected coaching. So if you're interested in checking those out, if you you don't even have to be a PT. I have a lot of people from real estate come and check it out as well. Then by all means, please jump on my Instagram. You'll see the links in there as well. Otherwise, jump on my Facebook. You'll find me under Dave Nixon. Team, that's it. I'm out. I'm done. Thank you very much. Until tomorrow, peace and pizza. Kick today in the dick. Slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.